Hey guys, this is somewhat of a part two to how I clean my RC cars, and you guys saw in the first video, I did take it to a car wash. This thing was caked down with a lot of mud and stuff, and I basically sprayed it off. But I did stress, and I want to stress again, that you do want to use some WD-40 or even some of this like bearing oil. I have this here, and you do want to put it in a lot of the components, especially where the bearings are on there. And I also put some on the motor as well. And I'm actually going to dab some more of this bearing oil on my motor. And then I'm going to dry this back down. Now I do have some cans of compressed air that I use to spray up in here, because it's still a little damp and wet in a lot of areas and stuff. And I want to make sure that I get this dry. I don't want to keep water on any of my screws because that will cause them to rust out. And then what I also have, I don't have it here with me right at this second, but I do have a rag that has a little bit of Mr. Clean of the cleaning solution on there, mixed with just a little bit of oil. And it's, I'll have to try to find exactly what I do for it, but it's very lightly touched. And what I do is I kind of go over my plastics as well, so they don't look all dry and look like they need some lotion or something, or ashy or anything like that. So that's basically kind of what I do to get my cars clean. And of course, like I said, when you do it at the car wash, just make sure you don't saturate like the electronics and stuff like that in the motor, because even though some of this stuff is water resistant, you don't want to flood it down with water because it can affect it. And then I do make sure it's kind of dry before I operate, especially if you're washing it down like that. You want to make sure that no water is stuck in your connectors or anything like that before you plug anything up. So, and I do some test runs once I get all this oil and stuff in it. Right now this is broke, so I do have to replace this, but I do put oil inside there, and then I put my car on one of my stands, and then I just run it really lightly to let some of this bearing oil, WD-40, kind of get through the bearings and stuff, and just kind of get soaked up in there. So that's kind of basis how I clean my cars. This tire is still a little bit dirty. I have to wipe that down some more, but that's no big order. That'll come off in the next run or two. But you guys saw kind of how the car looked before, and you see how it looks now. And I probably won't do a part 3 video because there's no use in really doing that, because you guys see the car is practically clean. I just need to really wipe it down and get it dry for that. So I just wanted to show this to you guys, and then stress the WD-40 or some kind of bearing oil on your bearings. And some people, and sometimes I'll even do this myself, I'll put a little bit of WD-40 and I'll dab it on here. You know, it seems like it may be a lot of work, but in the long run, it keeps you from having rusted screws and everything else on these type of cars as well. And then I take a toothbrush. You guys have seen some of my other cleaning videos. I have an old toothbrush, just like the one you see here, and an old paintbrush. And I'll just go in and I'll just wipe this stuff down, you know, up in here to get any excess grind and stuff, and get in some of these areas I can't get, like for instance on the threaded body shocks. I'll take the toothbrush and I'll brush down in there, and you guys see that there's still some dirt and grime in there. So I'll just take this toothbrush and kind of go in there. You see how I'm getting some of those areas out there. So it takes all of maybe 20 minutes or so to do all this. Just depends on where your car wash is, and then once you dry it off and stuff. And there's been times where I've actually sprayed my car off. It wasn't too bad, but then I'll just kind of run it in the area. And of course I removed the light point. I sprayed it off. And it kind of gets some of that air off of it. And then you guys know if I went to like a dirt dust field, my car is just filled with dust, I always say I take it to a tall grassy area that's not too tall, and I'll take my car and I'll run it through there, because the grass does act kind of like a brush for your car, and it does get a lot of that dust and stuff off of your car. So that does help as well. Just in the case of this one, I couldn't run it again because this was broke. And I didn't have the part yet, but it actually just came in not too long ago, actually today. So this is just an easy fix right there. It's just a hub carrier. So it wasn't a bad break at all. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. But that's an easy fix there. So anyway, guys, that's just videos on how I clean my cars. Put your comments below on what you guys do. I'm interested to see what some of you guys do to clean your cars as well. Some of you may not recommend it. Some of you may say, oh, that's stupid to do it. Well, that's fine. I've been doing this for years like this, and I'm going to continue to do it because it works for me. What works for me may not work for you. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos.